Hi friends! Welcome to the Real and Radiant podcast. My name is Jireh De Jose, founder and blogger of The Radiant Look since 2013. I'm a content creator and now host of the Real and Radiant podcast, and I'm so excited that you're here right now because in a world where, podcasts are becoming the new blog with 2 million shows out there and counting, you've taken time out of your day to be here right now. So thank you, really. I'm just going to get into what this podcast is all about. And I'm going to read right off of the podcast description. I've taken time to write this, so I might as well just read it off. And it says, we invest so much on our outer appearance, but what about our inner appearance? Join Jireh De Jose, that's me, as she unpacks what true beauty really is through faith and the realities of life and culture in this broken but beautiful world. Let's radiate from the inside out. So I mentioned earlier in the intro that I am a blogger for The Radiant Look. It was previously called Fashion Meets God, and I started that in 2012. And I just want to read, or I want to share the background, the kind of like a behind the name of theradiantlook.com. And it will relate to Real and Radiant, and I'll explain why that is in a little bit. But here is the kind of the behind the name of The Radiant Look. The Radiant Look's core verse is Psalm 34:5, which says, "Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame." But its name is also greatly inspired by Moses in Exodus 34. And after he fasted for 40 days, twice, possibly even another 40, Moses experienced an intimate, special, intense, close, and undisturbed fellowship with God. Afterwards, his face was radiating. And this radiant light was not a mere reflected light either, but a light that seemed to come from within. It was the effect of spending those days and nights in the presence of the Lord, revealing his glory. And this just gives a beautiful picture and reminder in relation to our appearance, right? That no matter what we're wearing, how we fix our hair, how we apply our makeup, whatever brands, whatever styles, whatever trends, or however many pounds we want to shed, it will never replace the inner light, joy, and peace that God offers us when we spend time and choose to follow him. It is a true beauty that can never fade away. So that is what the radiantlook.com is all about. I should clarify, it's actually the -radiant-look.com. The Radiant Look in all-in-one was already taken. So just to mention, if you're already searching for it, if ever, it's the -radiant-look.com. Okay, so why am I sharing you that? Well, for those who have been journeying with me since the Fashion Meets God days, or now the Radiant Look days, I'm one to talk about fashion, beauty, faith, obviously. I mean, it's pretty obvious from what the name is, Fashion Meets God. But for the Real and Radiant podcast, my desire is for us to dive into all of that and more. My desire is for us to journey life together, to really unpack what it means to have a true beauty through many different areas of life, not just within the fashion and beauty industries. What are our hearts really looking like? Are we living the best life God has for us? Are we radiating for him like Moses was? And obviously, we know and we spend so much time investing on our outer appearance, right? The fashion and beauty industries combined is like $1 trillion industry. So it obviously shows just how much we invest and spend money and time on how we look like. So if we invest so much time on our outer appearance, shouldn't we also invest a lot of time, if not more, on how we're looking on the inside? So what are we looking like, friends? Myself included, that I'm asking myself the same question. How are we responding or reacting to trials and challenges that life throws our way? How are we loving on the people who are quote unquote enemy, or those who dislike us, or those we dislike, that are those that are really hard and challenging to love? How are we navigating through situations that can change the trajectory of who we are as a person and our character if we don't go through it correctly or well, or whatever that looks like? So that's what we're diving into, besides fashion and beauty, because those two things will always be a love and passion of mine. We're getting into relationships, ministry, family, work life, singlehood. Yes, because your girl is 30 and very much still single and no kids, and everything in between. So in relation to that, I need to stop starting off my sentences with so. In relation to that, I need to state that I talk about inner appearance and inner beauty a lot, but I don't have it all figured out. I'm a work in progress every single day, and that's something I've been very open about for the past 8 years in blogging, and even in my Instagram captions. Like, it's not enough for me to just write a one-liner that's very surface level and just blah. Like, I have to put some meat and share how I'm going through something, and how I'm navigating through it. But honestly, some days I feel like I have it all together, and the Lord is my rock, and we're pumping through life together, and it's awesome, it's great. And other days, yikes. I am very much a 30-year-old who is still trying to figure out life and overcoming things from both my past and my present. And I know I'll be sharing a lot of those experiences on here. It is called the Real and Radiant podcast for a reason. So that's that. So, but no, I'm excited about it. And what not to expect on the Real and Radiant podcast is for it to be all about me. Just the idea of it becoming a Dear Diary, venting session every episode, makes me literally cringe. And I don't want it to be like that. I'm sharing, and I know it's my voice you're hearing through your headphones, through your phone, your laptop, your car, on your way to work, however you consume podcasts. But I really hope that we can both learn and grow together. I do plan and pray to have some guest interviews on here in the future, hopefully, possibly. But whatever it is, whether there's a guest or it's just me chilling and talking to you, I really hope we can both learn and just grow together. What you can expect is real life. I know people say you don't have to tell us you're real to be real, which is true. I agree. But can I just say it anyways? I do want us to be as real as possible. For example, this is my I don't even know how many takes I've taken for this first episode, guys. I've been trying to get this podcast up and running since November of 2021. And right now, the time and date of recording is January 2 of 2022. And I've just been scared, I put so much of myself out there in my circle and just sharing. I've never been one to really hide from sharing whatever I feel God is leading me to share, but especially when you're starting something new like a podcast, it's a little nerve-wracking, and I kept second guessing myself. And so I was even hesitant to do it today, even though I knew I had the time, and I don't think I would have the time within the week to do it. So I was like, you know what, 2022, here we go. This is going to be the last take of this first episode, and we're running with it, and God will do what he wants with it. So it's going to be real. It's going to be real life. When I told my mom I'm starting a podcast, my mom, my bestie, she was like, be prepared to be real. And I was like, oh, I know. It's you and Dad and the fam and the relatives that I'm a little concerned about, sharing things that y'all don't even know yet. But she's like, okay, just tell us first. So I was like, okay, sure. And lastly, what else to expect, and it's pretty evident by now. And I'm never, nor will I ever be too shy to share about it, is my outpouring love for Jesus. Like I said, I don't get it right 100% of the time. I so don't. But I'm so grateful that we don't have a God who loves us based on performance or good works. He just loves us for us. So you who are listening right now, whether you know him or not, whether you've grown up in the church your whole life or you've had a relationship with him before and just stopped for whatever reason, or maybe you've been hurt by the church or other quote-unquote Christians in the past, raising my hand here, I just want to tell you that he sees you and he loves you. And you can call that really cliche to say on a faith-based platform on a podcast, but honestly, this love has gotten me through some really hard, trying times I acknowledge my short 30 years of life, but I just know, whatever I face in the future, he will always be there. No matter what 2022 will bring us, not 2020, 2, by the way, just 2022. Whatever happens, and especially in this pandemic, I know he'll always be there. And that's the same for you, friend. So I hope you got a taste of what's to come in this first episode. And I'm excited. So are you ready? Let's do it. Let's get radiant from the inside out.